that is wavelength of a monochromatic light is by Newton's rings. So this is the experiment to determine lambda, that is the wavelength of this monochromatic light by Newton's rings. So this is the experiment to study, and this experiment is based on interference of light. We know it from our plus 2 level, interference, and again this is based on division of amplitude. We know it, division of amplitude, division of wavefront, we all know from our plus 2 level. What is Newton's rings? To determine this lambda, there is a formula used, that is the working formula which comes in theory. So this is a plain glass plate over which there is a plano-convex lens placed on it. When parallel beams of light coming vertically normally it gets reflected back on the air film or on the glass plate, so that there is a superposition of waves and interference takes place in the air film in between plano-convex lens and the glass plate. So those rings are formed, alternate dark and bright fringes are formed exactly in the air film in between plano-convex lens and glass plate, and this interference takes place here, and the rings are formed here in the air film. So we will see here there is a monochromatic light. So a lens is kept, a double convex lens is kept in front of this sodium lamp which gives a monochromatic light. Then light goes in a scattered way, as the lens is kept, it sends parallel beam of light and it is incidented to a glass plate here, which is kept exactly at 45-degree inclination to the vertical. And after it is incidented here, then reflection takes place. It is a plano-convex lens, just like this, and radius of curvature of this is very high. So one part of the incident ray is reflected from the lower surface of the denser medium, that is the convex lens, and a part after refraction through the air film gets reflected back from the glass plate, so that these two reflected rays interfere to each other, and as a result interference fringes are formed with alternate and dark rings with its center, that is the point of contact in between glass plate and plano-convex lens. So after it is reflected again, that is after the superposition takes place, then it goes and there is a microscope, traveling microscope is kept here, and we are keeping the eye here to watch the alternate dark and bright fringes which is formed in this AR film in between plane glass plate and plano-convex lens. So these alternate dark and bright fringes, or interference fringes you can say, are called Newton's ring, because according to the name of the scientist Newton, he devised this mechanism to find the wavelength of this monochromatic light. According to his name, these are called Newton's rings. So the diameter of the center, this is the center and it is perfectly dark. Then after alternate dark and bright fringes are formed with decreasing thickness, because this AR film is of varying thickness from the center onwards. So these are all formed with concentric rings having its center, which is a dark spot, and if it comes bright, that is because of the dust particles in between plane glass plate and plano-convex lens. So this dark spot is due to the phase change of phi, or the path difference between the reflected rays from the center is 0. Hence there is a phase change of phi, and that's why the center is perfectly dark. And these rings are circular, because the thin air film in between plane glass plate and the plano-convex lens, that AR film is of varying thickness from the center onwards, and it is the locus of a constant path difference. So it is a circle with center as the point of contact. So in this way, alternate dark and bright fringes are formed, and these rings are called Newton's rings. So we will read all these things in our theory in detail, and we will derive the formula also there. If dn is the diameter of a nth ring, then dn square divided by 4r is equal to 2n plus 1 multiplied with lambda by 2. Similarly, if n plus p is, that is dn plus p is the diameter of n plus pth ring, then dn plus p square divided by 4r is equal to 2p plus 2n plus 1 multiplied with lambda by 2. If it is a, if it is b, then if you subtract b minus a, then it gives, that is lambda. After we derive this, subtracting these, we will get dn plus p square minus dn square divided by 4pr. This is pr. So where I have already told dn plus p is any arbitrary ring taken, n, that is the diameter of n plus pth ring, and dn, that is the diameter of nth ring. Then p is the order of rings, p, that is number of rings, or we can say order of rings, and R is the radius of curvature of this lower surface of the plano-convex lens, and whose radius of curvature will be determined using a spherometer, and this will be given to us. So we have to find only this dn plus p square minus d square divided by 4p. Only we have to find this term. Then after you can easily determine the wavelength of this monochromatic light. So this is the theory inside it in this experiment, and this source is a monochromatic light. Even though it is not perfectly monochromatic, it has two D lines having different wavelengths, 5890 angstrom and 5896 angstrom. As an average, it gives 5893 angstrom. This is the wavelength of this monochromatic light. So this value is to be determined in our experiment, which is taken as standard. So this is the theory inside this experiment, and the apparatus required here, you see there is a monochromatic source here. This is the monochromatic source of light, which is a sodium lamp, sodium vapor lamp, and this is simply a glass, long glass bulb filled with neon with a proper vapor pressure by sodium. You can see here, this is a sodium vapor lamp which gives a monochromatic source of light, this one. And it is not given to the power supply directly, using a step-up transformer with 35 watt. We are using this, and we cannot take it to the power supply directly. So with 440 volt, this lamp can glow. That's why we are using this step-up transformer, and it can provide that much power so that it can glow constantly. I have taken two apparatus here. Here you can see this is a compact set. All the apparatus are assembled here. So this is a complete setup, and in this complete setup, this is a lens, a converging lens here. If I replace this open set, this is an open set, and this is perfectly unassembled set. Everything is assembled here, nothing to be adjusted here, all are aligned here. So this is a converging lens. All the scatter light from the source coming from this through the slit. So there is a slit here. So through this slit, when light comes, it comes in scattered form. After it is incidented on the lens, then it becomes parallel. And these parallel rays are incidented on this plain glass plate, which is kept exactly 45-degree inclination, and it can move in different directions. In all possible directions we can rotate it. It is freely movable, but we have to keep exactly 45-degree inclination to the vertical so that rings will be formed. with alternate dark and bright rings. And this converging lens is kept exactly at the focal plane. That means light source must be kept at the focal plane of the converging lens. Otherwise, this light will not be parallel. So, this light is kept accordingly, and this one is, I told you, this is a plain glass plate, P1. Then, after it is incidented, then reflected from the lower surface of the plano-convex lens, which is placed over a plain glass plate P. So, inside this, as it is assembled here, you cannot see here, we have to open it so that it will again take some time to adjust. So, I want to show you here, this is the plain glass plate kept exactly 45-degree inclination. We can see here this is a plano-convex lens. This lower portion is convex and upper portion is plane. This one, this L. And just below this is a plain glass plate. Both the sides plane. So the convex side of the plano-convex is kept in contact with the plain glass plate P, so that there is an air film produced in between plano-convex and plain glass plate. Exactly in this air film, that the gap in between, that produces a thin air film, and in that thin air film this superposition takes place, because both the reflected rays coherent, so satisfies the condition of interference that we know produces alternate dark and bright fringes only in this air film. And the point of contact of these two becomes the center of all concentric circular rings. Then after, it is simply kept over a stand here. This is a stand. And now, after reflection takes place, after we produce the interference fringes in the air film, then that we can observe through the travelling microscope like this. So this is the travelling microscope here with an eyepiece. In that we will see a cross wire, and the intersecting point of the cross wire must coincide to this center of all concentric rings, and we have to adjust this with this focusing knob. This is a focusing knob, so that we can adjust and we can see the rings properly. We can focus it, and there is a scale here that we can see. There is a circular scale having 100 divisions, and it can rotate anti-clockwise and in clockwise direction. And there is a linear scale fixed on the travelling microscope, and this linear scale is having 10 divisions in 1 centimeter. It works on the principle of a screw, just like screw gauge. So here, this is the apparatus, and before you start taking observations, we have to find its pitch and least count. As I told, one division over the linear scale is 0.1 centimeter. So if you rotate the circular scale once, then it covers one division only. That's why the pitch is 0.1. Pitch P is equal to 0.1 centimeter. Then least count of this screw, that is micrometer screw. This one is the micrometer screw. So pitch divided by total divisions over the circular scale, that is 100, it gives us 0.001 centimeter. So this is pitch and least count of the instrument. After you find it, then we will proceed to our experiment, finding the diameter of all rings, either bright rings or dark rings. This one also we can use, and having same least count, 0.001 centimeter, because it is also having 100 divisions on the circular scale and one division over linear scale is 0.1 centimeter. So it gives same. So, and here some more screws are given. This is the focus knob, and here this is another knob which is given here to lower or to raise the microscope up and down. And this screw, this is another screw which is provided here. If you rotate this, then it can go left side or right side, that is to and fro motion, and here up and down motion. So this is also a screw and working on the same principle. So this is a compact set. So any one of these two we can take and we can find the diameter of the rings. And gradually, when you go from the center away, you will see this diameter goes on increasing. So here we can take at least two observations. There are 10 to 50 observations in experiment, and we have to adjust it by properly focusing and keeping the lens in contact with the plain glass plate. So it is adjusted properly, and we can see the rings with its cross wire exactly coinciding to the center of all concentric circles. That is, there is a cross wire here. Through the eyepiece you can see here this cross wire, and this cross wire, that is the intersecting point of the cross wire, must coincide to the center. That is the point of contact of plano-convex and plain glass plate. Otherwise diameter will not come correct. So in order to find the diameter correctly, this horizontal line mainly must pass through the center. Otherwise, diameter of all rings are coming wrongly. So we can find now. Let us proceed how to find the diameter of rings. For that, there is a tabulation, number of observations, whatever it is given to us, then ICSR, simply it is I, initial circular scale reading, then number of rotations, then final circular scale reading, that is F, then difference. All the things are having no units because these are simply numbers which we are getting from the circular scale. Then PSR in centimeter, that is P into number of rotations. It is in centimeter because pitch is in centimeter. Then CSR, that is circular scale reading, difference multiplied with least count, that is in centimeter. Then PSR plus CSR, suppose this is A, this is B, then PSR plus CSR, that is A plus B in centimeter, and that is the diameter of a ring. Then next is D square or dn square, you can take in cm square. So this diameter of a ring is changing from the center onwards when we go away from the center, and it depends on the refractive index of the medium, this diameter, and the wavelength of light also, this diameter depends. So some observations we can take using a proper procedure. So what to do to find the diameter of rings? And there is a cross wire here that I have already told you. So initially we have to see that the rings should be clearly visible and light is properly incidented. It is always kept at the focal plane of the convex lens. So light should be incidented properly, rings should be visible clearly, crosswire must be like this, that means the intersecting point of the crosswire must coincide to the center of all concentric rings. Then after, we have to rotate the scale, circular scale, this micrometer screw in clockwise direction. So when I rotate this, what will happen? This vertical line will move towards left hand side. Horizontal line will be as it. There is no change in the position of horizontal line, only the vertical line shifts towards left hand side. So let us take this vertical line to any one of the ring from the center. Suppose this is the first bright ring or dark ring, whatever we can take, get it coincide exactly tangentially at the outer periphery of the ring, because I have already told you each ring is having some width, and this width goes on decreasing when you go away from the center. So we have to keep this vertical crosswire exactly at the outer periphery of the ring, and it will be just like a tangent. After you keep this, by rotating the scale in clockwise direction in this way, we have to take the reading from the circular scale. There is a mark here in the circular scale. So if it is the circular scale having 100 divisions, 100 circular scale divisions, a mark is here. This mark is called the reference mark. So with respect to this reference mark, which line of the circular scale coincides? If this reference mark is in between two lines, we will take the lower one, as like in screw gauge and spirometer that we have already taken in our previous experiments. So the lower mark should be considered, and that will be taken as initial circular scale reading. After we keep it, this vertical crosswire exactly tangential. So let us take one reading. I am rotating the scale in clockwise direction to find the reading. I am rotating now and crosswire is exactly at the middle. So this is the first ring, ring number 1, order of ring is 1. I will write here order of rings. This is first order. After I leave the central spot, then comes the ring, that is the bright ring or dark ring, whatever you take any one throughout the experiment, not dark, then bright, then dark, not in this way. If we have started with all dark rings, we can take all dark. If we have started with bright rings, we can take all bright rings. So let us take this bright rings, suppose. So after it is kept like this, then we can write here number of ring is 1. So after I keep it exactly tangential to the first ring, now I will take the reading from the circular scale that coincides with the reference mark, and it is in between 70 and 71. So we can take 70, that is the lower one. 70 is the initial circular scale reading. Then I will rotate this in opposite direction, because I have to take this vertical crosswire to the right hand side and I have to keep it tangential again at the outer periphery of the same ring. So this is left hand side. I have taken the initial reading for the first ring, and now I will rotate anti-clockwise so that this vertical crosswire will shift towards right hand side. When rotated clockwise, vertical crosswire shifts towards left hand side, and when rotated anti-clockwise, this vertical crosswire shifts towards right hand side. So after keep it tangential exactly at the outer periphery of the same ring, again I will note down the final circular scale reading, that is F1, the first ring. So I have to rotate this in anti-clockwise, and while rotating we have to keep in mind that this 70, how many times it crosses this reference mark. If I don't see carefully, then it becomes wrong. So while rotating, we must be careful to find the number of rotations. So I am rotating now in anti-clockwise direction, and at the same time I am watching whether 70 crosses or not. Yes, 70 has not crossed, and now the reading is in between 91 and 92. So number of rotations is 0 here, and this is 91. In this way, we will take 10 to 15 number of rings, whatever it is given to us in our provided manual. Then let us take one more reading. I am coming to another ring, First come to the center and see whether the horizontal line exactly passes through the center or not. Otherwise diameter comes to be wrong. I am now coming to the next ring. This is the sixth ring I have taken. So in this way we will proceed one by one with different rings. Then suppose I am coming to sixth ring, order of ring is 6. Then here I have to see what is the initial reading in between 73 and 74. So we can take here initial reading, that is 73. Then I will go towards right hand side from left to right. Again I have to keep this vertical cross wire tangentially, and at the same time I have to watch the number of rotations. This is 73, so I have to watch carefully. At the same time 73 crosses once, 73 crosses second time, 73 crosses third time. So now it has been adjusted perfectly tangentially. 3 rotations I got while coming to left side to right side for that ring. So number of rotations is 3. Then the reading is now in between 69 and 70. So we can take 69 as the final reading. So this is the readings taken for 6th order ring. In this way there are a number of rings from the center onwards. So always we have to keep in mind, while taking initial reading it will be taken always in the left hand side, and while taking final reading, that is FCSR, it will be taken in the right hand side. And when we are coming from left to right, we have to carefully watch the number of rotations what it gives for that particular ring. Otherwise diameter comes to be wrong. So here 2 observations I have taken here. Then I have to fill up this difference. This difference is 70 minus 91. It is less here. So we can add 100 to initial and subtract. That is 170 minus 91. It gives 79. Then this is PSR. Pitch into number of rotations, as number of rotations is 0. So this becomes 0. And CSR, difference into least count is 0.001 multiplied to difference, that gives 0.079. And PSR plus CSR will be same because PSR is 0, so only 0.079. Then take its square. Similarly, for the 6th order ring, this is 73 minus 69. Here it is greater, so we can easily subtract. It gives us, that is 4. Then this becomes PSR 0.1 pitch multiplied with 3 number of rotations, that is it becomes 0.3. Then CSR, difference into least count, difference it gives 4, so it becomes 0.004. Then PSR plus CSR, that is 0.3 plus this CSR, that is 0.304. From these two observations, we can easily see that diameter increases. When we go away from the center, it gradually increases. So this is the minimum value and this is the maximum value. If we go in this way up to 10 or 15 observations, the diameter column must be increasing gradually. If anywhere we can see that the diameter is less than the previous value, then it is wrong. So it can be repeated. In this way, we can find, then take its square. That is 0.079, take its square up to 3 decimal places. For that we can use a calculator. 0.079, take its square, it gives 6.24 into 10 to the power minus 3. 6.24 into 10 to the power minus 3. And here it gives 0.304, take its square, it gives up to 3 decimal places. That is 0.092. So this is the diameter. Then we can take it into our graph after a number of observations we got for d square column. Then we can take a graph. We can use it and we will choose a proper scale. Before we plot the points, we have to find the minimum value and maximum value for d square column. Accordingly, we have to choose the scale. So,
मिश्र सर
सर कौन सर
मु भाबुची से माने टेबल टा कंप्लीट कला पर हमें ग्राफ टा बुझेले बोलो होंदा बोधे
ठीक अछि हमें एबी पॉज नहीं जीवा
हां स्टूडेंट्स you all complete the table and first tell if you have any problem in completing the table.
ओके सर
यस सर कर रहे हैं सर
हाँ कर रहे हैं सर टेबल कर रहे हैं सर
एक्सक्यूज मी
We are
सर
giving 15 minutes break. Within 15 minutes you complete the table, then we will go for the graph and calculations.
ओके सर
सर वो डी स्क्वायर का कॉलम में वो पॉइंट डेसिमल में लेना है या कि इनटू 10 टू द पावर -3 में वो फर्स्ट वाला में 10 टू 10 टू द
नहीं
पावर
डी स्क्वायर को आप चाहो तो डेसिमल में ले सकते हो, चाहो तो 10 टू दी पावर -2 करके या -3 करके भी ले सकते हो, लेकिन उसी के हिसाब से आप लोगों को स्केल चुनना पड़ेगा।
अच्छा ओके ठीक है सर
सर
यस,
सर मेरा जैसे सर डी स्क्वायर एन सर डेसिमल में आ रहा है सर, तो मतलब हमने डेसिमल में ही लिख दिया टेबल में। तो सर ग्राफ में हम लोग वो समझ में नहीं आ रहा है सर, कैसे लें एक्स एक्सिस और वाई एक्सिस। क्या सर?
ग्राफ प्लॉट करना कब समझ में आएगा?
हाँ सर, तो मतलब वो ना स्केल समझ में नहीं आ रहा है सर, स्केल कौन सा लें?
वही तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ, ग्राफ प्लॉटिंग कब समझ में आएगा?
सर ग्राफ का सारा पॉइंट्स मिलना जरूरी है।
वो तो हम नहीं बोले हैं।
सर बस फर्स्ट और लास्ट पॉइंट मिल रहा है सर।
उसको पहले बताओ ग्राफ कैसे प्लॉट करेगा।
हाँ सर।
बताओ।
तुम्हारा मैक्सिमम कितना है?
तो हम लोग का वैल्यू
मैक्सिमम है सर 0.1232।
0.1232। मिनिमम कितना है?
0.0106।
मिनिमम को छोड़, जीरो मिनिमम है 0.0106
यस सर।
और मैक्सिमम है 0.01232।
नो सर, नो सर,
Yes, sir.
मैक्सिमम है 0.1232।
0.1232, ये 0.01 है ना?
हाँ सर, हाँ सर।
0106। यस सर।
तुम क्या चाहते हो, किंक लोगे या किंक नहीं लोगे?
पॉइंट में ही सर।
मिश्र सर
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ओरिजिन देखी पास करेगा ना किंक देखी?
ନାଇଁ ସାର୍ ବେସିକ୍ ଲାଇନଟା ଡ୍ର କରନ୍ତୁ ଆଉ
ଆଉ ଓରିଜିନ ନେସେସାରୀ ନାହିଁ।
ନାଇଁ କାହିଁକି ଆସିବନି ଗୁଡ଼ାଏ ପଏଣ୍ଟ ସେମାନେ କ'ଣ କରିଦଉଛନ୍ତି ୱାନ୍ ସାଇଡେड କରିଦଉଛନ୍ତି।
हाँ, तो आप लोग एक काम करो, अगर 0.12 आपका मैक्सिमम है और आप उधर जो लंबे साइड है उस साइड में अगर डी स्क्वायर ले रहे हो A4 साइज
सर।
का, शॉर्ट साइड में अगर आप n ले रहे हो,
हाँ सर।
लंबे साइड में हर 1.5 बड़ा डिवीजन में आप
हाँ, सर।
0.01 लो।
मतलब 220 से डिवाइड कर दें।
क्या 220? क्या हर 1.5 बड़ा डिवीजन, 1.5 मतलब समझता है ना, 1.5 बड़ा डिवीजन,
यस सर,
मतलब 15
1.5।
मिलीमीटर में 0.01।
यस सर।
तो फिर 30 मिलीमीटर में हो गया 0.02।
यस सर।
इस
हाँ,
तरह
सर।
करते करते 100 जो जहां पे आपका 300 मिलीमीटर हो जाएगा, 30 सेंटीमीटर, 30 सेंटीमीटर आता है ना उधर देखो पहले।
यस सर।
30 सेंटीमीटर का जरूरत नहीं, जहां पे 200 सेंटीमीटर है 20 बड़ा डिवीजन, वहां तक 0.13 0.14 कवर हो जाएगा।
सर 220 सेंटीमीटर से डिवाइड कर दे क्या?
220 सेंटीमीटर से
अरे
क्या
यार।
डिवाइड करेगा तू? तेरे को क्या
मैक्सिमम
बोला
वाला
मैं?
0। आप बोले सर 1.5 डेढ़ है ना, उसको ले लो वैसे करके।
वैसे उसको कितना
0.1।
लोग बोला?
अरे सर ने बोला 1 बिग डिवीजन प्लस 1 हाफ डिवीजन को ले लेंगे 0.1, मतलब ग्राफ का
0.01 0.01।
यस सर, 0.01 ठीक है सर, बनाते।
और फिर 3 सेंटीमीटर में आएगा 0.2, 4.5 सेंटीमीटर में आएगा 0.3, 6 सेंटीमीटर में आएगा 0.4, 0.04। इस तरह करते करते आप जब 150 सेंटीमीटर में पहुंचेंगे, 15 सेंटीमीटर, 150 मिलीमीटर 15 सेंटीमीटर,
यस
वो
सर।
आएगा आपका 0.1। फिर उसके ऊपर भी आपको और स्पेस मिल जाएगा 0.12 दिखाने के लिए।
हाँ सर, हाँ सर, समझ गया।
कब तक सीखेगा ये बात, मैं वही सोच रहा हूँ। इंजीनियरिंग शुरू हो गया।
सर ओरिजिन से पास करवाना जरूरी है, नहीं तो चलेगा?
वही तो बोला, ओरिजिन से पास कराना जरूरी नहीं है, बेस्ट फिट लाइन खींचना है।
यस सर, ठीक है। मैक्सिमम पॉइंट से ज्वाइन हो रहा होगा
सर
90
तो मैक्सिमम पॉइंट ज्वाइन करना है सर, ये
सर, लेकिन यहाँ पर
मैक्सिमम
तो
पॉइंट
सर,
ज्वाइन नहीं करना है, बेस्ट फिट मतलब पॉइंट शुड बी सीन स्टैटिस्टिकली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड अबाउट द बेस्ट फिट लाइन दैट यू आर ड्राइंग।
मतलब
सर हाँ, सिमेट्री में होना चाहिए सर। इसमें हमको स्लोप भी निकालना है सर, तो वैसे ही कर दो।
ऑफ कोर्स वही आप अगर टेबल कंप्लीट कर लिए तो बोलो सर, तो दिखाएंगे कैसे आपको ग्राफ से स्लोप निकाल के कैलकुलेशन करना है।
यस सर। सर स्लोप तो निकालना आता है सर।
हाँ, स्लोप तो निकालना पड़ेगा, नहीं तो फिर कैसे डी एन प्लस स्क्वायर माइनस डी एन स्क्वायर
यस
बाई
सर।
डी निकलेगा।
यस सर।
हाँ सर, हम लोग कर लेंगे।
चलेगा।
ସାର୍ ଏବେ ଦେଖେଇ ଦିଅନ୍ତୁ ଗ୍ରାଫଟା ମିଶ୍ର ସାର୍
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଏ ଗ୍ରାଫଟା ଦେଖେଇ ଦିଅନ୍ତୁ।
ଆଚ୍ଛା ହଉ
So along this is 0.30 square column. Accordingly, we have to choose the scale. So along this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. We will find a scale here. Along x-axis, one small scale division, how much? This is number of rings, so having no unit, we will write here order of rings, and along y-axis d square. Origin must be defined, whether we are shifting the origin or keeping 0 0, whatever, it should be clearly mentioned what is the x coordinate and what is the y coordinate. Then at the top of the graph, d square versus p, it should be clearly mentioned. Then we will plot the points. Then we will find a line. A perfectly linear graph we will find. We should not join all the points. It may be deviating from the line equally on either sides, and a number of points will come on the line. Then arbitrarily we have to choose 2 points, not from the data points. We have to choose arbitrarily unknown points. Then we will find the normal to the x-axis. Then again from this we draw the normal. So if it is theta, then tan theta is this. That is, if it is A, this is B, this is C. So slope is equal to, you are taking two random points. This is AB divided by BC. So its corresponding value, that is A, this becomes dn plus p square.
Good afternoon.
I have already told you the diameter of n plus p3, and if we take this,
क्या कोई तकलीफ है बोल बेटा
this is dn square, that is diameter of nth ring and its square. So find the difference
and out
from the scale that you have taken along y-axis and find its value, that is this is n plus p, because this is dn plus p square and this is p.
होने
So n plus p minus p, it becomes, that is n. So we can find it, that is, this is the number, this is simply a number, so having no unit, but it should be clearly mentioned in centimeter square. So our formula, so after you get slope, we should clearly mention with its unit, that is cm square, because it has no unit along x-axis. It is a order of ring or number of rings. So after you find it, that is from the graph, we can put the value in the working formula for lambda, that is dn plus p square minus dn square divided by p multiplied with 1 by 4r. This is the working formula that we have seen already, and this is the slope. This value is the slope into 1 by 4r. This r is the radius of curvature of this plano-convex lens that will be given to us, that is the given data. So accordingly, we will find the value of wavelength, that is in centimeter, because slope is coming in centimeter, because this is the square term, and in denominator radius of curvature, that is coming in centimeter, so it becomes centimeter. After you get in centimeter, you have to convert it into angstrom. That is, that I have already told you, lambda is 5893 angstrom, and 1 angstrom is 10 to the power minus 8 centimeter. So after taking centimeter, we have to convert it into angstrom. That means 1 cm. If it is 1 angstrom is equal to 10 to the minus 8 cm, then it implies that 1 cm is equal to 10 to the power 8 angstrom. So just simply multiply this value what we got with 10 to the power 8, so that it comes in angstrom. After you get this value from our experiment, we will find the percentage of error, that is standard minus observed divided by standard into 100. So you will find the percentage of error here, and it should not be more than 5%, because this is an optics experiment, so very accurately you have to do the experiment, otherwise it will give more than 10%, 15% like that. And here this is the experiment we have to do like this, and some precautions we have to follow while performing the experiment. The light source should not be tilted, it should be perfectly incidented in a normal way, facing to this glass plate. And this convex lens, which is here, this is a convex lens, and it has some particular focal length. Just exactly at the focal length of this convex lens, this source should be kept, so that after it is incidented in scatter form, then we will get the parallel rays. Otherwise, it is difficult to get the rings circular. No parallel ring will come out. And this glass plate must be kept exactly at 45-degree inclination. If it is slightly changed in its angle, then also rings are not going to be formed in that air filling. Then, while rotating this circular scale, we have to keep in mind that it should be rotated in the same direction, so that backlash error can be avoided. And while focusing this, we should not disturb this knob or disturb this entire instrument, so that rings will not be visible to us. And in this way, if we perform the experiment properly, then we can get the value of lambda exact within 5% error. Thank you.
कोई डाउट?
Sir, we have to write the percentage of error in this one. We have to write the percentage of error in this one.
अगर आपको लैम्ब्डा का स्टैंडर्ड वैल्यू दिया जाता है तब जाके
Yes sir, है वो जो
then you have to
okay.
सर
ठीक है हलदार। हाँ बोलो, क्या हुआ अनन्या?
सर मेरा ग्राफ में जैसे वाई एक्सिस में dn स्क्वायर लगा रखना है, तो वहां पे मेरा एक वैल्यू 2 4 ऐसे आ रहा है और मेरा हाईएस्ट 34 जा रहा है।
तो तू इसी के हिसाब से स्केल चुनेगा चुनेगा तू क्या उसका स्केल चुन लिया क्या?
नहीं सर, हम पूछ रहे हैं
क्या पूछ रहा है?
सर,
तू
लाइक
तेरे हिसाब से सुन सुन, तू तेरे हिसाब से बनाएगा, वो उसका हिसाब से बनाएगा। मैं उसका एग्जाम्पल दिया ना, तो
सर
उसको
हम
आप
उसका सुन के नहीं बोल रहे, हम उसको कुछ नहीं बोल रहे, हम अपना बता रहे हैं सर।
तुम्हारा बताने से तुम स्केल चुन पाए या नहीं पाए, वो बोल पहले।
सर 15 ऑब्जर्वेशन है तो वो बहुत वो हो जा रहा है, मतलब डेसिमल के बाद 2 डिजिट तो लेंगे ना एटलीस्ट, तो वो ग्राफ में एक्यूरेट नहीं हो रहा है।
नहीं नहीं, अगर तुम किसमें 10⁻⁻² करके रखे हो क्या?
यस सर।
हाँ तो ठीक है, तब तो बढ़िया है। उसमें डेसिमल और कहाँ जाएगा?
सर 2 से लेके 34 तक है।
पांच डेसिमल तक मिलेगा, सेकंड डेसिमल तक नहीं मिलेगा।
ओके सर।
ठीक है,
यस सर।
समझ गई तो? और कोई कंफ्यूजन है क्या?
नो सर, वो फर्स्ट डेसिमल लेके कर देंगे।
ठीक है, करो करो, ठीक है। हाँ करवा की करो। ମୁଁ କହୁଛି ଯେ ତୁ କୌଣସି ଗୋଟେ ଘର ଯାଉ, ଗୋଟେ ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ ତତେ ମୁଁ କହୁଛି, ମନେକର ତୁ ବେରିୟମ କାର୍ବୋନେଟ ନେଲୁ। ବେରିୟମ କାର୍ବୋନେଟ ରେ କଣ ଅଛି? ବେରିୟମ ଅଛି, କାର୍ବନ ଅଛି, ऑक्सीजन ଅଛି।
सर सर आपका अनम्यूट है सर माइक।
ओ सॉरी सॉरी सॉरी, म्यूट कर रहे हैं।
सर
हाँ बोल।
सर हम लोग राउंड ऑफ कर सकते हैं क्या वो जो डी स्क्वायर को?
तुम लोग किस तरह का कर रहे हो उसी के हिसाब से राउंड ऑफ करेगा ना। राउंड ऑफ तो थर्ड डेसिमल प्लेस के बियॉन्ड में नहीं जा सकते।
नहीं सर, मैंने 10⁻³ में किया है, तो जो 13.6 है उसको 14 करके ले सकता हूँ क्या, चलेगा?
नहीं, 13.6 को 13 रखो, 30.6 को 30.6 रखो। मैं ठीक कहूँ ना मिश्र सर?
ठीक ठीक। ठीक।
सर
हाँ बोल वैष्णवी।
जब परसेंटेज इधर 6.6 आ रहा है चलेगा?
हाँ
सर परसेंटेज एरर 6.6 आ रहा है।
इतना ज्यादा आ रहा है, कर मार्क कर देवे तो सर।
सर अब जो कैलकुलेशन आ रहा है वही ना सर, हम जान के थोड़ी किए।
ठीक है 6.6 चलेगा, चलो चला देंगे।
ठीक है भैया।
मिश्रा सर चलिए तो 6.6।
ଦେଖିବା କାଲକୁଲେସନ କରିକି କଣ କରିଛନ୍ତି ଆଉ ଗ୍ରୋଥ କାଲକୁଲେସନ ଟା बोलो।
सर 1.62 आ रहा है परसेंटेज ऑफ एरर।
वेरी गुड।
थैंक यू सर।
किसी का कोई तकलीफ हो रहा है?
सर परसेंटेज एरर कितना आना चाहिए?
कितना आ रहा है सर?
सर आ रहा है 8 पॉइंट समथिंग।
आ रहा है जो आ रहा है, और क्या करें, डाटा कैसा है देखना पड़ेगा।
5 आ सकता है
सर 0.017 सही है ना?
सर 10 ऑब्जर्वेशन टेबल लेके बना सकते हैं क्या? 15 है ग्राफ, 10 का बना सकते हैं?
क्या 10 मतलब?
सर 10 ऑब्जर्वेशन लेके सर 15 में ग्राफ नहीं बन रहा है अच्छा से।
क्या तू बोलना चाहता है, मेरे को समझ में नहीं आ रहा है।
सर मेरे टेबल में 15 ऑब्जर्वेशन है।
जितना ऑब्जर्वेशन दिया गया है सभी को करना पड़ेगा।
ओ ठीक है सर।
सर सारा पॉइंट लाइन से जाएगा नहीं ना?
नहीं, पॉइंट्स लाइन के ऊपर नहीं आ सकता है,
हाँ सर, नहीं आ रहा है सर।
करना सभी पॉइंट को है।
सर परसेंटेज एरर हाईएस्ट
ठीक है ना सर? 5 से जा रहा है पॉइंट, चलेगा ना सर? सर पॉइंट टच नहीं हो रहा है, लेकिन सर कांटेक्ट हो रहा है सर, मतलब 5 से जा रहा है।
क्या तुम बोल रहे हो?
नियर द लाइन जा रहा है सर, पॉइंट्स ऑन द लाइन नहीं है।
ଆପଣ କିଛି ବୁଝିପାରୁଛନ୍ତି ତାଙ୍କ କଥା ମିଶ୍ର ସାର୍?
Say, what are you telling?
Sir, I am telling that sir, all the points will be on the line.
Off the line.
On the line, sir.
देखेंगे, सही है तो देखेंगे, सारे पॉइंट्स चेक करेंगे। किसी भी एक लाइन ठीक से प्लॉटिंग नहीं हुआ तो जाएगा, मार्क कटेगा।
सर मिनिमम 3 पॉइंट टच करना चाहिए ना?
नहीं, जो भी पॉइंट लाइन पे आ रहा है हम देख रहे हैं कि वो पॉइंट ठीक से प्लॉटिंग हुआ कि नहीं।
Okay, sir.
Because we have been watching the graph whether points are plotted or not, or some students are copying.
सर 0.75 आ सकता है।
नहीं, स्लोप चेक करो, स्लोप चेक करो ठीक से, ये 7-8% एरर नहीं आएगा।
सर 0.75%।
हाँ, 0.1% तो आएगा, बहुत सारे डाटा सेट में है लेस देन 1% एरर, लेकिन मैक्सिमम 5% हो सकता है, उससे ज़्यादा नहीं। If it counts, then you might be doing some mistake in your slope calculation. Recheck it. You are given 15 points in your data set, so use all of the points in your graph. Otherwise, the slope is not coming correct.
सर हो गया तो जा सकते हैं।
हो गया?
हाँ सर।
सबमिशन कर दिया?
अपलोड कर रहे हैं।
सर
हाँ
सर मेरा एरर सर 8 आ रहा है, 8 पॉइंट समथिंग।
गया तेरा पूरा
एरर
पूरा जीरो मार्क होगा और क्या करें?
सर कैसे सर आ रहा है तो कैसे करें सर?
उसको ठीक से देख, सर बोले ना अभी, वो ग्राफ को ठीक से देख।
सर ग्राफ को सर प्रॉपरली किया है सर।
नहीं, वो जो लाइन खींच रहा है ना,
सर वो ओरिजिन से नहीं जा रहा मेरा सर, मेरा वो रैंडम लाइन जा रहा है।
नहीं रैंडम लाइन जा रहा है, लेकिन वो
Yes, sir.
ठीक से डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड है या नहीं देख।
अच्छा डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर ठीक से है सर।
इतना नर्वस होने से क्या फायदा होगा?
सर ठीक से डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर है सर मेरा। ओके सर, देखता हूँ सर, फिर से देखता हूँ सर।
सर हेलो सर सर वी हैव टू डू एरर कैलकुलेशन। एरर कैलकुलेशन करना है
Yes, what are you telling?
सर, एरर कैलकुलेशन करना है, एरर निकालना है।
If value is given, standard value, then you do the error calculation. Standard value is given now.
Sir, 0.017% is possible. It's too good, sir, to be true.
क्या हुआ, कंफ्यूजन क्या हुआ फिर?
नहीं सर, इतना अच्छा भी आ सकता है ना, मतलब 0.017%। कुछ ज्यादा ही क्लोज आ गया सर।
सर
हाँ
सर 0.017 इतना पास भी इतना कम भी आ सकता है ना?
नहीं आ जाएगा। तो जो एक्यूरेट निकाला वो क्या क्या किया था, उसका कैसे 0% एरर आ गया?
हाँ ठीक है सर, ओके सर, थैंक यू। समझ गया।
बोल।
सर 2.85% एरर आया, सही है सर?
2.85। अरे 5% से कम एरर आ रहा है तो पूछो मत, टेंशन कर रहे हो तुम लोग अननेसेसरी डिस्टर्ब करके।
सॉरी सर।
जिसका 5% से ऊपर आ रहा है वही पूछो।
ओके, थैंक यू सर।